friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a bunch of different ways you can use pom-poms in your music classroom. My name is Sarah, and on this channel we talk about all things music ed, especially ways to switch things up to inspire lifelong musicianship in your children. Got a bit of a sinus infection, so this is what we're dealing with today. So first of all, why pom-poms? Well, they're cheap, they're really affordable, and especially as someone who personally buys a lot of things for my own classroom, I have no problem buying like 2 or 3 packages of pom-poms because they're really inexpensive, and as you'll learn in this video, you get a lot of mileage out of them. Just a bag of like 350. I'll link the kind that I get from Amazon below. It's not affiliate, it's just the kind that I use. Again, you can do so many things with these that they should definitely be a staple in your classroom. First, let's talk organization. The pom-poms that I use are 1 inch in diameter. They're a very manageable size, and yeah, occasionally I'll find a few just on the floor, but like on the whole, I like the systems that I have because I like to be able to set things up quickly and efficiently. I like to be able to grab something and have it ready to go just to either dump out or hand to a student. Mainly, I rely on paper plates, plastic bins, plastic baggies, and like yogurt containers or produce trays. Sometimes I prep pom-poms ahead of time, and I'll explain that in these the activities that I'm about to mention. So I don't just have, well, actually I do have one big bin of pom-poms, but I also have a lot of baggies that are preset with either the right number or the right colors of pom-poms that I'm gonna need for certain activities. Those will, that step will save you so much time. Way number 1 that I use pom-poms in my classroom is to help students decode 1 and 2 syllable words, which ends up translating to 1 or 2 dots. I use something called dot notation. I'll link a little bit more about that below. And from the dots, of course, that transitions to stick notation or even note head notation. So I have students set up in little groups around the room, and they have just a bunch of pom-poms on a plate or on a little produce tray. And they've got printouts of animals or objects, usually a certain theme, and they have to decode like thermos, 2 sounds, and they would just have the, with the picture in front of them, they would just put 2 pom-poms underneath it. And then they'd pick another picture and, chair, 1 sound, 1 pom-pom. This is great because when you're in a whole group introducing a new concept, you can scan and you can look around and see, okay, are these students getting it on the whole? But sometimes you really can't tell if a student is like copying or mimicking. It's good to do breakout groups like this because then you can go around and see, oh, that one actually has 2 sounds. Let me show you. Way number 2 that I use pom-poms in my music class is to practice ta and tt. When I teach students basic rhythm in 1st grade, we start by calling them long and short, and we represent that with circles or dots or like circular magnets. So when I have breakout groups, pardon me, when I have breakout groups where we practice that, I give students a template that has 4 blank circles on it, and I give them a set of like 6 to 8 pom-poms, and they are building their own rhythm. So one pom-pom in a circle is ta, and 2 is TT, or it's long and short, depending on, what we've learned so far. This works well in pairings because 1 person can build and 1 person can perform, but you can absolutely just have students do this on their own in a station. They can even use a little mallet and either tap the rhythm as they play or tap each beat or each circle as they play. So it's a great way for students to do things again independently, so you can come and assess whether or not they're understanding the concept. Now, these past 2 activities so far have required minimal prep on my part because color is not important in these activities. It's really just the number of pom-poms that each student needs. So if you're running low on time, a handful on a paper plate, boom, there you go. Way number 3 to use pom-poms in your class is composition. And there are a few different ways I do this. So this is, way number 3, but it's also like way number 4 and 5. So anyway, composition with pom-poms, yay! I was really fortunate earlier in the year to get a grant to purchase 2 tablets for my classroom. And my idea with that was to do more with composing. With pom-poms, you can easily set students up, and this could be on a tablet, it could be on a computer, it could be in small groups too if you have like headphone splitters, or if you don't need to worry about sound, just send 3 kids over to the table with a tablet or a computer, and they open up the website playxylo.com. And then you get a whole xylophone. And you can change the colors to Boomwhacker colors, or you can have them all be the same color. Don't do all the same color because that kind of defeats the purpose. And then this is where color matters. So you're gonna have to prep these stations with like 2 or 3 of each color that you need ahead of time. Students can write a rhythm using like 5, 6, 7 pom-poms, and then they play it on their tablet or computer. This is where you might want to enforce a few stipulations just so things don't get too wild. You still want students to focus on like building and playing. So you might say you can use up to 8 in a row, or use a template again. It could be as simple as just a blank piece of paper. I've had students test my limits and say, look at our rhythm, it's Tom Titi, and it goes on like from the rug to the door. And I'm like, okay, funny, but not totally practical. So composing with playxylo, fantastic to do with pom-poms, but you can also compose with the Songmaker in Chrome Music Lab, where again, you're using colored pom-poms to match the different colors that you can draw on the grid. You can also have students try harmony, where they stack pom-poms on the table, like flat on the table, and they have to create that harmony in Chrome Music Lab. More composing, this time with xylophones. I have resonator bars in my classroom. They come in this little green like suitcase, kind of translucent case. And again, they're using a template with 4 circles on it to build a 4 or 8, if you want to do 2 per circle, 8 sound composition that matches the colors of the resonator bars. So yes, prep is important. You got to make sure that the colors that they have available are the colors that they're going to see in front of them on the resonator bars. For those of you who don't have like tables in your classroom, I have tables because the music room is also the art room, so I use the tables sometimes. If you don't have tables, I would see if you can get or borrow hula hoops from the PE teacher. But a hula hoop that a student can use as a workspace where they can put their xylophone in it, or put the tablet in, or even just sit with their computer and have a little like plate next to them. Paper plate with pom-poms on it is great to sort of keep students focused on their work because they're in a visually contained area. Here is a more practical thing you can do with pom-poms. Choose teams, choose groups. So let's say you have 17 kids in your class and you want 4 groups. That's going to be 3 groups of 4 and 1 group of 5. So you're going to put in 4 pom-poms of one color in a bucket, 4 of another color, 4 of another color, and 5 of your last color. Mix them up, reach in, give them to your students, and all the reds are a group, all the blues are a group, all the greens, etc. If you don't have something like resonator bars that are color-coded, if you don't have a tablet or a computer, if you have Boomwhackers, you can also prep little sets of pom-poms ahead of time that match the Boomwhacker colors so students can write their own Boomwhacker songs in groups. If you're doing this in stations where, students will rotate between a few different activities, again, I would keep it, provide some stipulations. So perhaps, each group has 4 or 5 people and every person is only responsible for 1 Boomwhacker and not 2. Like, you don't put the whole scale there, you put 4 or 5 different colors. This last one is different from all the others. This is a specific lesson that I used to do when I taught 5th grade. So it's a lesson on form. And so we were learning to listen for same in different parts. We were diagramming the form of very short examples, like I was using old TV themes like the Yogi Bear theme, or I Dream of Jeannie, or the Munsters theme song was fun to diagram. But what we would do to practice is I would give small groups little sets of pom-poms, and they would have to put down a new color every time they heard something different, and that same color again if they heard it again. You do have to prep. You do have to know the form of your songs ahead of time, because I liked to give students the exact number and color of pom-poms they needed. And another hint you can give them if you're doing this kind of listening lesson is to tell them what color the song starts on. Anyway, we would use the pom-poms to show, okay, so this song is an A, B, A, C, A form. And all the A's were a color, and the B's were a color, and the C's were a color. And at the end of that unit, what they would do is pick one of the songs that we had diagrammed in class and compose a cup routine that went with it. So that's how the unit culminated. But a lesson on form, right? Sometimes you use letters to diagram form, but pom-poms can help you by using colors. And it lets students like easily clear their board. There's nothing to erase. They can easily swap out colors and collaborate easier just like in a workstation on the floor using pom-poms. If you enjoyed this video and learned something, give it a like or save it to a playlist or send it to a colleague who you think might benefit from it. If you're interested in more ways to be a little different in the music classroom, you should subscribe to my monthly newsletter, The ADM Community. It's a curated roundup of content and ideas and songs, activities, resources from awesome music teachers and musicians that I've encountered and been inspired by myself over the past month. And of course, there's stuff from me in there too. If I have new blog posts, or currently I'm on a pilot ocarina program journey with my 3rd graders, so I just kind of give little updates on that. But definitely add your name to that list. I'll leave a link below. If email is not your thing, you have too much going on in your life already, I get it. Go follow me on Instagram or subscribe to me here on YouTube. Thanks for watching and happy music making.